Fuck!
First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rakakodash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Today's video, I wanted to go into how you're not supposed to be a pimp. Okay, you're not supposed to sell out your daughter. Okay, you're not supposed to have, no man on man, woman on woman, even in this situation as you see right here. So I'm gonna play this clip real quick, and I'm gonna give some context.
Yo, he is insane. No, bro, he is insane.
Work your way up.
Fuck.
The threesome they've been waiting for.
Yo,
What?
Yo,
I need to get a membership here.
he is insane.
And you heard that, and you have the one girl right there in the black in the middle, the brother on the right, and the dad right there, and the dad's talking about, my daughter, the other woman, and you have a threesome, which is completely wicked. And recently, that woman in the middle, I think her name is Jaden Newman, she got exposed or something, just doing some activities. And the craziest part is that her dad and her brother have been essentially using that publicity to try to pimp her out, right? Going on podcasts, talking about it, asking the interviewer if they seen the video, talking about how she's going to be the next Kim Kardashian because of this video. And, it's just straight wickedness, man. That's what it is this is wickedness. And this guy up top said this is her dad saying this. They got to take this nigga to the county square and stone this sick fuck. And that's exactly right. Because, that mindset that father's in is the spirit of a whoremonger. So let's go to that in whoremonger. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 1, it says, "Be ye therefore fathers of God as dear children, and walk in love as the Mashiach also had loved us, and hath given himself for us an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becometh saints, neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. For this ye know, that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, which is an idolater, hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Mashiach and of God." So let's go into that word whoremonger, right? And there's a specific way that you're supposed to conduct yourselves when it comes to serving the Lord, and when it comes to even being an Israelite. Okay, you can't just do whatever you want to do as an Israelite. Okay, we are the nation that has law, statutes, and commandments to be separate from these other nations. And, the laws are supposed to be a light unto the other nations. Let's actually get that. I want to get that scripture. In Deuteronomy. Salaki. Wise people. Right, Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5, it says, "Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahweh my power commanded me, that they should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people." Right, so this is the thing. The commandments were supposed to make us separate and supposed to elevate us, so that when people look at the way we conduct ourselves, they realize that it is superior to life. It is beneficial. It says, "For what nation is there so great who hath God so nigh unto them, as Yahweh our power is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day?" All right, so one of those laws is whoremonger, right? You can't be no damn whoremonger. Now, I want to go into that word. So here we have the word whoremonger. It goes back to the Greek word pornos. It says a man who prostitutes his body to another's lust for hire, a male prostitute, a man who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse, a fornicator. right? And when you go into it, it's dealing with that exactly right there. Okay, prostituting your children. Let's get another one, and I want to get it in the Old Testament. Whoremonger. I'm gonna put it like this: can't pimp KJV. Come on. Right. Leviticus 19 and 29. Let's get that one. Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 29. It says, "Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness." Right? So what this guy is doing is wickedness, because what this promotes is to live that lifestyle. Right? As it says, the land is going to fall to whoredom and the land is going to become wicked. Because if one woman sees she could do it, the other one is going to do it. If one man sees he could get away with it, another one's going to get away with it. And it's going to keep on multiplying till ultimately Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has to bring down that judgment. And that's, the state of this world as we live in, is that that judgment hasn't been brought forth, as it used to be. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse... I actually want executed speedily. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 11, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil, right? And that's the world we live in. People think that they're not going to get judged for their actions. They'll say, oh, I've been living this lifestyle for so long, nothing's been happening to me, I'm prospering. Not knowing that, ultimately they're being reserved for the day of judgment. Okay, it says that the wicked are reserved for the day of judgment. I keep messing it up. Reserved. Right. This is Job chapter 21 and verse 30. It says, 29. It says, have you not asked them that go by the way, and do ye not know their tokens, that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction, they shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. Right, so all those people in that lifestyle are being reserved. And just because you haven't been judged today doesn't mean you won't be judged tomorrow or in the future. Right, everyone is going to have to pay for what they have sown. Right, you reap what you sow. So going back to this clip, another thing I want to get is, I was going into how it's that influence. And I was reading that in, let's see if it was, Blue Letter, I had that. But, if you prostitute your daughter, the whole land is going to fall to whoredom. And that made me think of the king or the queen Vashti. How you had the king Ahasuerus in Esther chapter 1. And the king essentially, I'm going to summarize it. The king essentially, asked for Vashti, the queen, to come, towards him. And she refused. And what ended up happening is verse 16. And Memucan, which was one of his wise men, said, and Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen hath not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king of Ahasuerus. Right, so she didn't go where she was, essentially ordered. And, back then that was a grave thing. Today you call your girl, she won't come. It's like, people don't take it as serious. But, back then it was a very serious deal, especially, because it was the king or any man. And it says, for this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes, when it shall be reported, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before them, but she came not. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the kings and princes which have heard of the deed of the queen, thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before King Ahasuerus, and let the king give a royal estate unto another that is better than she. Right? And that's what a lot of women don't understand, is that they'll get replaced. Right? You act wicked, the Lord will replace you. And, the point of the story is that the woman didn't listen, she being, one of the highest positions, and that was going to spread forth to all the other women in that Persian media, and that they were going to also rebel against their husbands. So as a public example, that queen was to never see the king again, and she was going to be replaced. So, that's a example of influence and how, doing the right thing ultimately makes other people do the right thing. And that's how I'll end it with this scripture. It says that as the ruler, so are the people. Ecclesiasticus, I believe. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of men the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So, if the leader is wicked, guess what? The people are going to be wicked. And if the ruler is righteous, then guess what? All the other people are going to be righteous. And this made me think of another scripture, how through one wise man, through one righteous city be rebuilded. I can't find it off right, but there's a scripture that goes into how one righteous man, can essentially replenish the city because of that influence. So, I think the point has been established. And going back to that clip, you can't prostitute your daughter, man. It's just crazy as hell. But this is Babylon the Great. What else can you expect? But with that, I'll give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of great mills to that taught me his truth. Shalom to you, like Shalom.